Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream again. We'll skip the ads and just go right into doing what we're going to be doing, which is just continuing on with what we were doing just an hour or two ago whenever I ended. So yeah, continuing to work on the unlock menu and especially so we want to get the points to actually update in this, right here. So we want to get that working. We also want to update the challenge display here. Probably we'll create like a generic challenge display because I want to create a run overview window that shows you like which challenges you completed and all that good stuff. So that's probably going to be a pretty significant effort, I would guess. But yeah, we'll figure that out. We don't need to think about that just yet. Probably we'll want some kind of unique... Oh, here we go. As soon as I start the stream, the neighbor's got to start up the lawnmower. Classic. Classic. All right, well, we'll just see how this works. Okay. So we want to show probably a special error too when we don't have enough unlock points. So let's do those couple of things. But anyway, good afternoon, Ninja Link. Welcome back. Good to see you. Clickertail, hello, welcome. Okay. Unlock tree container. This would be unlock points header. Can I set this text? Yeah, I can set it here. Okay. Unlock tree. Tree item unlocked. Okay, so we're going to want to do this then. Unlock tree. Connect to tree item unlocked on tree item unlocked. Private void on tree item unlocked. We're basically going to update points remaining. And we'll call update points remaining in here as well. Okay, so we've got that. Let's create that method. And essentially, we'll need a translation string for this. Yeah, we'll just call it, let's do translation string 0 points remaining. Group is translation groups dot UI. This would be private const string UI panel header unlock points remaining. Okay, we'll put that in there. All right, so we want to do update points remaining. So we're going to say we need a reference to that panel header. So private panel header. I think I called it unlock points panel header, if I'm not mistaken. Unlock points header. We'll call it panel header. Okay, so we've got our unlock points header. So in here we'll do unlock points header dot text is equal to description utils dot format description tr UI panel header unlock points remaining. And then we're going to need to pass in unlock manager. How do I get the unlock points remaining? Data initializer unlock model. I don't know why I'm doing that. Let's just create... We'll just create a static method in here to fetch that. I'm trying to route everything unlocks related through the unlocks manager here. It's just a little thin wrapper around this, but I'm trying to just put everything through that just in case. So this would be unlock manager, get unlock. Did I not make that static? Okay. Get unlock points remaining. Cool. All right. So hopefully that works. Forgot to translate it. That's all right. 0 points remaining. All right, cool. We're also going to need a plural version as well. Plural text. This is so annoying. Okay. So we're actually going to need to do trn. UI panel header points remaining, the count, the int n. Points remaining is equal to this. Okay, so this would be points remaining, and then we want to do points remaining in here. Okay. I think that should be fine. So we build that, build the translations again. Hello, Emerson, welcome back. Carlos, welcome. Good to see you. Glad to have you here. Okay, build the translations. So we should see in the translation file that both of those, so we have 0 points remaining and 0 point remaining. So that will be the case if it's just one. All right, so that works. Oh, am I not doing this correctly? Oh, I've got an issue here. Should be not negative. Oh. Well, let's just put this in here. mathf.max of 0 and that. So the problem is I'm bypassing the typical way that points are determined, so we'll just put a mathf.max on it. And I want to do an actual test to see if it will work. Okay. So we'll go to debug. Let's turn off ignore unlocks. And we'll also turn off ignore save file. Okay. And then what I need to do is I need to go to my alcamortis.json. Completed challenges. Do I have like a challenge? Challenge list. Unlock challenge factory. Okay, let's just put this one in there. So I'll put when runs 1 in there. So if I go to my unlock menu now, I should see 1 point remaining. And now I've got 0 points remaining. So this just says cannot unlock. So I want to I want to do a different message for that as well. So let's get rid of unlock tree items IDs. Let's get rid of that. Let's see, is cannot unlock in here? Okay. Let's do this. Translation string, no unlock points remaining. Group, translation, groups, dot announcements, private const string, announcement, unlock item, error, no points. Okay, so where are we actually saying this? On invalid click. Okay, so let's do this. Unlocks manager, on invalid clicked. Add clickable validator is valid. Okay, so I might want to store some extra unlock tree item. Actually, I could do this. Var show no points is equal to is valid and unlocks manager dot get unlock points remaining is equal to 0. Okay. Show no points question mark announcement error no points otherwise that. Why is that being italicized? That's weird. Okay, whatever. We'll build the translations, and then should be all right. Unlock tree, boom. It's showing cannot unlock again. Oh, the problem is valid. Let's change this. So I probably want to store a different flag here. We'll do has unlocked connections. Has unlocked connections is equal to this. So now what I could do is I can say, I could just use that, has unlocked connections. So that should work. No unlock points remaining, cannot unlock, cannot unlock. Cool. So let's do this. When runs to, okay. Build. Oh, I want to remove this as well. Okay. Unlock tree. So cannot unlock. Boom. 1 points remaining. I should be able to do this one. And then I'll do no unlock points remaining. So that announcement is not in the best spot. Do I want to fix that? I wonder why there's such an extreme margin bottom on this. So let's do... Why is there such a high margin bottom? I don't understand that. Let's do 48 for the margin bottom. I honestly don't know if that's going to work either, but... I think what I'll do is we'll just create an options object here, and we'll do options equals null. Okay, create announcement dot options equals null. Set text options. So we just pass that along. And then in here, what we could do is we can grab a reference to the control. So let's just grab that node, private control. If options dot align to bottom is equal to true, then we'll do control dot size flags vertical equals size flags that shrink end. And then in the unlock tree or unlock tree item here, var announcement options is equal to new announcement dot options align to bottom is equal to true. Okay, and then we'll pass in that announcement options here. Now, if I had done this correctly from the start, I would just make this a single announcement options object, but I don't want to have to go and change everywhere in the code base right now. So we'll just leave text as the first argument, options as optional second argument, and we'll see if that works. Do you do game dev full-time or have a software engineering job at the side? I'm doing this full-time. Doing it full-time right now. We will see what happens after Alchemortis. Okay, no unlock points remaining. So that is working, that positioning. Let's see. Also, do you see yourself maybe doing an online multiplayer game with Godot? I would like to at some point. The problem is that I think those are, I mean, they're hard to make for sure. And they also require a lot of work. Unlock tree container. Oh, unlock item inspector. I wonder why that broke. Oh, because I moved it into the clip container, right? I should probably... Okay, this one doesn't need to be unique name. Okay. So this announcement here, I'm just going to fudge this a little bit. Eventually, maybe I'll have to be able to specify what the margins are here, but I'm just going to move this up and we'll just see what happens here. Unlock tree, no unlock points remaining. Cannot unlock, cannot unlock. Now I'm wondering if it would be better to do it at the top. Okay. I guess we'll just keep that option in there in case I need it later. But let's do this. Public int, we will do margin top override get init. If options dot margin top override dot let's just do not equal to null. We'll say margin container. Oops. Oh, that's not going to work. No, it will. Yeah, it will. Margin container. Add theme constant override. Private static read only string name. Margin top. Margin top. Options.margin top override.value. All right, so then in here, margin top override will do 72. Did it even work? We will see. Okay, that's better. I might even actually move that. Even more. Got to get it perfect, you know? Okay, that's good. I like that. So that's better. Okay. That hangs around. I want to maybe redo the announcements, how they're presented a little bit, but we don't need to worry about that just yet. Okay. What was the whole point of that? Oh, yeah. Okay. So we can mark that one as done. We could do leaf particles on unlock. Let's just see how quick I can be with that. It might take a little bit of effort, but maybe not. We will see. So I need to go to my unlock tree item. We're going to add a resource preloader node to, oh no, not here. Unlock tree line. Do I want a resource preloader? I guess we'll do a resource preloader. That's probably all right. So we need to create a new scene. This would be unlock line leaf particles. Add child node. GPU particles 2D. Scenes effect. Actually, we'll just put this in UI. Unlock line leaf particles. Where is this texture? UI unlock connection selected. Is that in here? Yeah. So basically what I'm going to want to do is just take... Oops, I'm in the wrong... Here we go. Oops. Take this. We'll just paste that there. Grab this one. This one as well. And we'll take this one. We don't need too many of them. Okay. So we'll cut all those out. Let's do connection leaf particles. And just for the ease of use, let's turn on the grid. Grid settings 8 by 8. Okay, there's one leaf. 2 leaves. Three leaves, and then so we've got 4 different leaf particles. Should be good. Yeah, that should be fine. So we take that, we export this as connection leaf particles. Export that. Okay, so now in here, let's go ahead and create, well, let's add the texture. Then we need a new canvas item material with particles animation on with 4H frames. Create a new particle process material. Then before I forget, let's go to display, animation, offset of 1. So now all of these are going to be different things. Okay, so then for the emitter, we want this to be, let's turn off fixed FPS, turn off interpolate. Lifetime, we'll make these relatively long-lived particles. Turn up the particle amount. Explosiveness, we'll do 0.2. I still don't know what this randomness does. All these years and I still don't know what that option does. Okay, process material, spawn position, sphere, we'll do 16. Oops, not 167, 16. Okay. We want the initial angle to just be random. Velocity, inherent velocity ratio. I don't know what that means either. Okay, spread 180, initial velocity 20, 50. I don't think the explosiveness is doing me a lot of favors there, but that's okay. I'll probably want to turn on lifetime randomness. Maybe that would help a little bit. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to have actually quite a high initial velocity, I think. Acceleration's gravity. Turn that down. Linear Excel damping, here we go. I guess the gravity is going to have to be stronger than that. Oh. Maybe we'll just make the damping constant. Is there a radial? That actually doesn't look terrible. So this may look a little bit weird, so I'm going to have to think about that a little bit more. Let's turn the sphere down. I really don't understand. Why is this like... Anyway. Let's just do some very basic scale curve stuff. Okay. So the idea is that this will follow the line as it's growing, and so that will be emitted. Okay, so we've got our unlock tree particles. We need to, I think, since we're going to be creating and destroying this automatically, then what we need to do here is I am probably going to need to add a script to that, but that's okay. Unlock tree, what is it called? Unlock line leaf particles. Drag that in there. Let's just add a script. My one-click add-on to add a script. I love it. I don't need to see that dialogue anymore. I'm just going to simplify this name because it doesn't need to be that long. Private GPU particles 2D particles. Public override, or not override, public void destroy. Var tween equals create tween. Tween action. Particles dot emitting equals false. Tween dot tween interval 2.5. Tween action. Q free. All right. So now in the unlock tree line, what I'm going to need to do is get a reference to that resource preloader. And then when we play in, we play the vine grow. Oh, I need to know which direction this is happening. If reverse. Okay. I actually don't know. Is this even useful anymore? Clean up invisible lines. Target line. If target line is equal to selected line. Points. This is a mess. I'm going to rework some things here. Do you have a favorite genre of games that you create? Hello, Celestial General. I don't know. As cliche as it is, I like creating roguelikes. And the reason I like creating roguelikes is because it's more about creating the systems. Because you need replayability, right? So usually when you create a roguelike, it's about creating interesting systems that can interact with each other in interesting ways. And those are really fun to build from a programming standpoint. So yeah, I'll probably stick with that kind of formula for my future games. The other thing too is like I'm learning more about how to build roguelikes from like a game design perspective. So if I were to switch to a totally different genre, like a narrative game or whatever, I would have a whole bunch of new skills that I would need to learn. So yeah, probably just stick with that. How many leaves did you draw? Just 4. Me watching it come all together like, yeah, it should come together. It should come together. I'm going to restructure this scene a little bit. This is a little bit gnarly. We're going to copy the properties of this. We're going to paste it here. Okay. So this would be the default line, and we have the selected line. This is going to change to a... Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. Is it going to be a nightmare? I hope this doesn't break anything. Okay. Get children of type. Unlock tree line. Public void set default points. Vector 2. Okay. So we're going to do new line, set default points. Here. Okay, I'm going to need to rebuild everything, but let me just close all this stuff because these are all tool scripts and I don't want anything breaking. So we rebuild. It was a little bit awkward having the line as the root of the scene, so I'm going to fix that. So unlock tree. We're going to need to rebuild these lines, and it didn't work. Line, oh, am I still looking for line 2D somewhere? Get root, unlock tree line. Can I just, oh, I need to change the, oh, I forgot to change this type to just a node 2D there. Okay. Oh, now it works. Okay. Place lines. It looks like it's still good. I do have a bunch of errors here, though. Okay, I think it's good. Yeah, everything is fine. So anyway, the whole reason I did that is because now what I can do is I could say if target line is equal to selected line, then we're going to do default line visible is equal to false. So we just don't want to like render things if we don't need to. Selected line dot visible. Am I not setting that line to visible anywhere? Oh, target line dot visible equals true. Gotcha. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that works. Hello, Bit Beginnings, welcome. The Ghoul Fencer, I love that guy. I love that guy. Strong contender with Snailcat, I think. I should redraw Snailcat. I should bring my updated artistic capabilities into that and make him like one of the best pieces of art in the game. Give me 1 second here, sorry. Oops, I'm just taking off my headphones because the lawnmower is gone. Too hot, it's too hot. I've got my door closed, and the PC is putting out heat. My brain is melting in my head. Okay, we're back. So, okay, so now we're actually ready to do the real work, which is to instantiate this. So, target line equals selected line. We're going to take the resource preloader. We're going to instantiate scene or null. This would be unlock line leaf particles. So we'll do leaf particles. We want to say add child leaf particles. Leaf particles dot position is equal to reverse. Selected line dot points 1. Points 0. Okay. So we add the child leaf particles. Let's move child leaf particles to position 1. I guess position 0 is fine. I don't need to be super dramatic about it. Okay. Leaf particles. Cool. So we are going to want to do let's do a parallel tween. Create tween. Tween.set parallel. So one of the things that is really nice about tweens is that you can do subtweens. So when you've got a more complicated tween, so for example, in this case, I have this tween which animates the shader on the line so that it looks like it's growing. And I also need a tween that moves these leaf particles along the line as it's growing. So I could try to reorient this tween and do a bunch of like chaining and stuff to have those two different things happening in parallel, or I can create a parallel tween here. I can call this line tween. And what I could do is I could do parallel tween dot tween subtween and put the line tween in there. And then I can create a new tween and basically do the same thing. So we want a tween interval. I may want to change this as well, but that's okay. Let's define the particles tween in here. Var end position equal to reverse selected line dot points 0. Okay, so we've got the particles tween here. We create the tween. We tween interval delay. Then we want a tween property. So particles tween dot tween. Let's do tween position of leaf particles. To position, end position. Float duration is 0.75. And let me just const float tween duration. Okay, and then it's quad in out. So we basically just match this. Okay, particles tween dot tween action. Particles, leaf particles dot destroy. Okay. So what we could do it here is we could say if particles tween is not equal to null, parallel tween dot tween subtween. And actually, maybe I don't even need to do this. I actually probably don't need to do this now that I think about it. But this is how you could use subtweens. And the benefit of doing this way is that then you can do a parallel tween dot finished. You can connect to the finish signal, and that will only be fired when all of the parallel subtweens are finished. So that can be really useful, but I actually don't think I need this. I could just fire off both tweens and just call it a day. because those are just going to happen instantaneously together anyway, so they don't need to be coordinated explicitly. So yeah, I don't need to do that, but that's okay. Now there is a delay here. So what I probably want to do is public override void ready. I want to set emitting to false. Emitting equals false. And then I probably want to do a public void start. Particles dot emitting equals true. And then we're just going to want to do a tween action here to call leaf particles dot start. Okay, let me do this. Project settings, ignore save file and ignore unlocks, and we'll see. Tweenception. Hello, straight pointer, welcome. Oh, that's not correct. The leaf particles are kind of working though. Why did that break? Okay. I know why it broke. Because it's not saving the sub property, so I need to save that in an exported variable. And then selected line dot points is equal to... Let's make this public, actually. Maybe I want to keep the default points. Okay. Let's build this. I think this should work. Let's just rebuild, place lines. We should see points in here now. So hopefully, since those are exported, those will be saved now. Yeah. It's not playing in though. Ooh. Okay, I think those particles are a little bit... They could use some tweaking for sure. But that looks pretty good actually. So we'll tweak those a little bit. Probably need to... Well, I don't really know what I need to do, but for some reason this play in is not working. Guess I broke something? It's not playing the lines in for some reason. So I may have broken something. Turn that progress down to 0. Place lines again. There we go. Okay, now the vines are growing. Okay, so I think there's a couple of things that we could do here with the leaf particles. Let's turn the amount up. Well, maybe not the amount. Let's make the scale bigger. Where's the scale? Scale. So we'll do a minimum of 1, a max of 1.5. Let's just see if that makes an appreciable difference. Yeah, I think this would probably be helped out by reducing the lifetime slightly and upping the amount slightly. Because it moves so fast. And maybe reducing the initial velocity a little bit. Where is that velocity? Initial velocity. Let's reduce it to 25 to 50. Maybe 35 to 65. And this still might be a little bit too high of an amount. Actually, what happens if I go the other way with it? What happens if I crank up the initial velocity quite a bit, but then for the damping, we turn up the damping as well? I think gravity is probably going to need to be a little bit stronger. Sometimes they go way off though. Wish there was a way, is there a way to apply damping only for... I guess I can use a damping curve. I've never really done this before, but... Max value, let's do 250. So we'll start the damping up really high. Oh, wait a minute. We'll make the damping fall off. Is that how it works? $150 to $250. Then we could turn the gravity down quite a bit. This damping is probably still too high. Let's do 200, let's do 150 to 250. Okay, let's change the scale. No, it's probably fine. Does that make any difference? That's not quite what I'm going for. Let's do a little bit more work on this. Turn it up to 30. Hello, Amir. Welcome. Snupbill, thank you for the IDR 10,000 with the message. Yummers, thank you, thank you. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. Hello again, Mel's. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. Let's crank the initial velocity up really fast, and then we're going to turn the damping up a lot as well. Even higher. Damping might still be too high. Well, let's just see what that looks like. That's close. The problem is they're like coming to a complete stop. What I'm trying to do is have them speed very quickly and then slow down. Maybe, can I use a velocity curve instead? Maybe, oh, I can't. Oh, that's the initial velocity. Well, let's try that. Actually, can I move this up? Do I have some like radial accel? Oh, I have some radial accel. Maybe that's what's throwing me off. Okay. Move this over slightly. Maybe the gravity needs to be higher. No, the problem is that's not stopping enough of them now. One of the problems might be that my lifetime randomness is too high. It's making it hard to control them. So I'll turn the lifetime randomness down a little bit. Maybe the gravity does need to be higher. Oh, okay. That's looking better. Okay, let's try that. There's not quite enough rotation on these guys either. Angular velocity, crank that down and up. Okay, let's try that. Can you stop touching your hair? Thanks. Why? Need to find the toggle for my own lifetime randomness. Yeah, I would like to set the lifetime randomness to 0, please. How do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? So let's see it with the full effect. Looks really cool and unique to me. Thank you. Let's see what it looks like with the full like screen shake and everything in this menu. Unlock tree. Yeah, that feels pretty good actually. Now imagine the sound effects, right? The vines like, you know, with some impact sounds, like you click it and there's like an impact sound and then it grows, spits out a bunch of leaves and impacts with the next one and plays some more crunching. Yeah. It's unclear which one has open. The particle is very large. Well, the particle's not supposed to be the one, it's not supposed to be indicating the unlock. It's supposed to just be extra like effect while the vine is growing. That's all. Because there's like a shine effect that shows when you unlock something, and also like the player is the one that's clicking on it, right? So they know which one they unlocked. Now I think I could probably change, okay, let's just stick with that. So unlock particles. Hey, thank you for the sponsor membership, Doc Yoda. Thank you, appreciate that. Very generous of you, thank you. Okay, I want to mess with this shader here. This noise texture. I think it's great. One idea, you could add a small moving element to make the edge of the visual update run along the vines more visible, perhaps with like a crest of leaves. That's a good idea. I was actually just going to mess with this progress texture to see if I can make it more apparent. So right now, like the reveal area is kind of... Yeah, I just wonder if I can change this noise texture in some way to make this... a little bit more apparent what's going on. But maybe, yeah, maybe like a line of leaves or something. Or you know what I could do potentially is I could put the particles in front instead of in the back. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference, honestly, but let's just turn this back to, well, what about... Let's just use FBM or none, I guess. Cellular. Value cubic. Oh, I could do the edge noise too, I forgot. Interesting. Wait, if I put this back to Perlin... Okay, let's try that. So I'm going to copy this fast noise light. I'm going to put it on here. Paste as unique. Then I'm going to copy, so I want to do edge noise 0.209. Okay, we'll turn this progress down. I wonder if that will make a difference. Not super noticeable, but I think it does make a slight difference. The problem is it's so fast. What I could potentially do is I could animate the lines themselves, so I could add more segments into the line, and then when you click the grow, the vines like move a little bit as well. But that's a little bit too much effort. What I do want to try though is, instead of making the particles in the background, let's make the particles in the foreground. So let's just get rid of this move child there. Let's see if that makes a difference. It's amazing to see you do the implementation coding like it's just simple 1, 2, 3. I wish to have that knowledge of the Godot engine, maybe soon, since I only have a week of experience. Yeah, it's all experience, you know. At one point in time, these things took me, you know, an ungodly amount of time to figure out, but I've done it so many times that I kind of know what the pieces are and like everything that I'm gonna need, you know. What happens if I just crank that soldier boy? What happens if I just crank that value? Hello, Helkios Games. Is that meta progression? Yes, it is. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Oh, and the particles don't follow. I guess I can make... Oh, I can probably just make these local, right? Local chords. Oops. Oh, I can't make them local because they just... Oh. Oh. That's kind of an interesting effect, but not quite what I want. Well, shoot. My plans are foiled yet again. Well, now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna resolve that. They're not following the scroll. Well, let's see. What can I do about that? Interesting. I'm going to do something unrelated right now. What am I going to do about that? That is a good question. Frame root. Frame selected. Scene material, here we go. Progress diff, let's turn this up. Let's see what that does. Make a thicker sheen effect. More. Why does it seem like that's not doing anything? Oh, do I need to rebuild? Oh, I think I need to rebuild the progress. Or the unlock tree container. Because those all have their materials all configured in here already. So because they were already configured, wait, it's still happening. Why is that happening? Oh, that's not good. What happens if I reset that and reset that? Okay, so if I just select all these and reset them. Clear? I hope I didn't just break something. Okay, I may have to... Unlock tree item template. tree node dot. Oh wait. Unlock tree item. Unlock tree item dot sheen material. Okay, let's just do this. I'm gonna do public void public void tool dupe material unlock tree item to item dot sheen material is equal to sheen material dot duplicate as shader material. Okay, and then in here I'm going to do unlock tree item, so template dot tool dupe material to unlock tree item. If unlock tree item is not equal to unlock tree item template. Okay. Doing great work on my Godot side project and chilling. Very nice. The one at the top right opens upside down. Should it be from bottom to top? Yes, it should be. Yes, it should be. The problem is I played around with that for quite a long time and couldn't get it to work for whatever reason. So I'm just going to ignore that for now. But thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so unlock tree template, we reset that, we place lines. These should all have the correct value now. Good. Okay, so unlock menu, let's see what happens. Oh, that's much thicker, look at that. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that one's wrong. You're right. I wonder what it would take to fix that, though. Okay, I think that looks presentable. I think that looks presentable. So, how goes my deving? It's going great. Thank you, Monkey Software. Not sure how scrolling works in Godot yet, but couldn't you check scroll amount and adjust the position of the particle effect? No, the way that the particles work is they're either local, which means that all of the particles are relative to the position of the GPU particles node, or they're global, which means that they just work in global space. There's no way to change the position of an emitted particle directly. Those are your two options. So, it may be the case that I just need to, I don't know. Look at all these changes. Oh, goodness. That's all right. So I don't really know how I'm going to fix that global issue. The other option would be to spawn an individual instance of the particles. So set it to a one-shot particle, and then keep spawning particles every so often along the line. So I could say, you know, every 5% of the way spawn one of those particle scenes, and then keep them local, right? That could be an option that I could use. Actually, let's try that. Let's try that. I'm gonna have to do something a little bit funky for that, but that would certainly fix it. So unlock tree line. So instead of moving the particles themselves, I would basically move this into like a loop of some kind. Okay, so let me think about this. Unlock tree line. Okay. All right. Okay. So this tween is going to change. Particles tween custom. Now we're going to have t. We'll not worry about that yet. We're going to go from 0 to 1 over the tween duration. And this is going to be, I haven't done the extension methods for this. Transition type dot quad set ease tween dot ease type dot in out. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit weird, but we're going to say for var I equals 0f I or 1f I is less than greater than or equal to 0. I minus equals 0.05. Okay. Var start position is equal to this. Var end position is equal to this. I guess I already had end position. Okay. In here, we're going to say if t is greater than or equal to I, we'll do that and then break. This is so this is so weird, but that's okay. So basically every frame we are doing an iteration at least 20 times, but that's all right. It's whatever. Okay. Add child leaf particles. So I think my logic is correct. So basically we're starting at 1. So we're basically tweening from 0 to 1, matching the duration and the easing value. And then what we're saying is, okay, we're basically going to spawn 20 particles. So we start at the end value and then we decrement by 0.05. We find the first instance where the t value, oh, this needs to be, well, greater than or equal to, no, that's not going to work. We'll find the first instance of t. Do I need to start it at 0? No, I think this is right. So find the first instance of t that is less than the I value that we're at, and then we'll spawn it. So the reason we're working backwards is because we don't want to create a new particles. Like let's say we're at 0.5. We don't want to create a particle because, you know, 0 has been passed, 0.05 has been passed, 0.1 has been passed. So we're going to work backwards until we find the first I value that is less than or equal to the t value. And as soon as we find that first instance, actually that's not going to work because it's just going to create multiple things every frame too. I thought I was being clever, but I'm not. Okay, let's do this then. We will tween an integer See, the problem is I don't know how to make like tweens do discrete because this is going to run every frame. So I don't know how to make a tween do a discrete value. I guess what I could do is I could store a last t value, -1. And then in here we will say if t is not equal to last t, or t equals last t, we just return. Otherwise, we do this, and we say last t equals t. The problem is, this is wrong. So wait a minute. Leave particles dot position. So I still need the t. So we're going to do var percent is equal to t divided by 20. Right? So there's our percent. Leave particles is going to be start position dot lerp to end position by percent. And then we can store that. So will that essentially make it discrete? So we're going to tween from 0 to 20. So that's the number of particles that we want to spawn. And every time t increments, we will, well, we'll determine a t increment when the current t value is not equal to the last encountered t value. Then we'll store last t. So basically this is going to spawn 20 particles along the line. Anyway, the whole reason that that's happening is because now what I can do is I could set this to local. So since the particles themselves, this node will not be moving in space at all. See how that makes everything follow it? But this particle is going to be placed once and it's going to stay fixed in its position. I'm just going to spawn many of them. And I also need to set this to one shot as well. And that's going to emit quite a bit. So I might need to turn up the explosiveness here a little bit. And since I'm going to be putting so many, I can probably turn this down as well. Okay. I have no idea if that's going to work. Let's see what happens. Big diff, yeah. GDScript. GDScript is a language. Totally not brain rot. No, I'm not writing in GDScript. I'm C#. C#, bro. I forgot to call leaf particles.start. And what I'll do in here is I'll just do, we'll just do this. Create tween, we'll wait 2.5 seconds and then we'll queue free and we don't need this destroy anymore. Okay. Let's see if it works. Oh my. It works. See the scroll, they stay in their position when I'm scrolling. So it works in theory, not so much in practice. But I think that's just a matter of turning down the amount. Const int amount equals 10. We're going to do float amount. And then this is 0 to amount. So we'll just have it for now. So it looks like this should work. I probably don't even need that many, honestly. I should probably make sure that it's not spawning more than I expected to. Let me do a gd.print. gd.print spawning particles for t t. Let me just make sure that that's not doing more than I think it is. Unlock tree. Okay, so we go to output. Nope, it's just doing one for each value. So the logic is correct. I think I just need to turn it down again. Unlock tree line. We'll set amount to 5. We can get rid of this. Okay. Oh, I guess it's spawning 6, right? It's spawning 1 more than the amount that I'm giving it because it's doing 1 for 0 as well. Honestly, I could probably turn down the amount of... So I've got a number of levers to pull, right? I can turn down the amount. I can turn down the amount spawned. But it's actually spawning 6. It's spawning 1 more than the amount, which I probably don't really need to think about that much. But we'll just put amount -1 in here. Hee hee. Okay. But that's not going to spawn one at the end, right? That's probably fine. You know what? Whatever. I'll just deal with it. I do want to spawn one at the end and at the beginning, so the amount is not going to be technically right, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be technically right. I can probably turn down this particle count even more now. Just turn it down by 1. See if that makes a noticeable difference. Yeah, that looks better to me. Okay. So we solved the global scroll particle issue. Cool. I think that looks pretty good. I should probably make sure that all of those particles are being cleaned up. Just because, you know, I want to make sure that it's all working. Margin container, tree scroll container, unlock tree lines root. Yeah, so the particles would be added in here. There's no particles anywhere. So I think we're good. Can you teach tweens? I'm not that good at them, and I see you're very good at them. I don't know if there's much to teach. I mean, a tween essentially is just a way of going from a start value to an end value using certain curves. That's all it is. And you could do whatever you want with them. So like in this case, I am tweening from 0 to amount, right? I'm tweening from 0 to amount, but I'm applying these curves to it. And these curves are like standardized, right? Like these are, you will find these easings in CSS, animations, keyframes, whatever. But yeah, it's just a way of providing animations between different values, and then what you do with those values is entirely up to you. You can tween the position of something, you could tween just a random value and then do something with it. It's, yeah, there's not, I don't think they can be a little bit confusing at first, but that's essentially all a tween is. It's just going from one value to another value following some kind of curve. And then you can do whatever you want. How to change game icon when loading. There are docs on that, totally not brain rot. There's a whole documentation page on Godot about how to change your executable icon, if that's what you're asking. I forgot that Alchemortis is an Autobattler. For a moment, I thought you were making a new game. Oh, gotcha. Nope. Nope, still working on Alchemortis. It's almost done. Okay. So fix global scope particles. Alrighty then. So we got leaf particles. Boom. All right. So we've finished adding juice to the unlock tree. I'll add decorations later, but I do want to do unlock point dialogue or banner. So that's the next thing that I want to do. So we're going to want to come up with a generic way of displaying these challenges. So if I go into the unlock menu again, these challenges here, this is just a rich text label. There's nothing super fancy about it. But what I want to do is probably make these their, I don't know, their own little rows. it might be more helpful to start with the run end dialogue that I want to do. Alchemize 10 items with boss souls. Yeah, let's just start. I think it'll be better, instead of starting with this screen, let's start with the run overview dialog. So in the run overview screen, what I'm going to want to do is, after it plays this little animation, I'm going to probably want to slide in like a challenge overview dialog or something, or maybe put it in here. I don't know, what do you guys think? So the idea is pop open a dialog. It says 2 unlock points, you know, you gained 2 unlock points or whatever, and then it would also show like an animation indicating your progress on various challenges. So I guess I would need some kind of progress bar for that. I guess let's just start sketching something out. I don't really know where to put the progress challenge on this screen though, because this window is pretty big. TBH fam. Oh, that's not good. Why is that happening? Is that a problem with all of these? It is a problem with all of these. Okay, I fixed it. All right, so yeah, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and then when I come back, we will figure out what to do with the challenge overview dialog. So be right back. All right, I'm back. You could have a little pop-up box pop up at the bottom of the screen that contains information for a single completed challenge, and then pages through everything that was completed along with the unlock points it granted, assuming a challenge could give more than a single point. I personally don't think you need to show the user their percentage complete on all their challenges. They can just navigate to the area when they want to see it. Yeah, that's a good point. Let me think about that. So I guess there was a part of me that thought it would be satisfying to like animate the progress completion. So like if a dialogue did pop up, it would show, like, it would list all the things that you made progress on and then play like an animation of them creeping up or whatever. So it's not just that I want to show, it's not just that I want to show the completed challenges, it's also I want to maybe entice the player to do another run to complete a challenge that they almost have completed. Do you know what I mean? Although I could still do that with what you suggest, Ninja Link. It could be a box that pops up. It shows all of the ones you completed first, plays a little animation, boom, +1 unlock point, right? And then it does that for every challenge that you've made progress on, even if you didn't unlock it, right? So let me think about that. How would that look? Maybe top right would work better. Not to nitpick, but so like you get a little box up here, or maybe down here would work. Or it could just be another panel that slides up from the bottom. So it's like challenge complete, and then it does like a little progress bar, zoop, boom, +1 thing, right? And then it goes out and another one pops up, challenge progress, blood applied, zoop, you know what I mean? And it just keeps cycling through until there's no more challenge differences, right? There's no more progress differences. I think that could work. Because I think I would still get the enticement that I'm after, but I wouldn't have to worry about like trying to lay out a whole dialogue for that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I'm gonna take your idea, Ninja Link, do a little modification on it. But yeah, basically just gonna do your idea there. Sounds good. So this center container here, what even is that? Dude, this screen is a mess. What even is this screen? Who made this? The developer who made this just doesn't know what the heck he's doing, I guess. This is unbelievable. Oh, I see. I know why it's there. So in order for these visuals to slide over to where they need to be, I have to do the layout as part of the UI, and then these visuals can tween over here when I need them to. Now, the thing though is I did this screen before the control offset transforms existed. So I really don't know if that's necessary anymore. Because I could theoretically put the visuals as a child of this center container and then just shift the center container around with the position offset. But it's already working. I'm not going to change it. It's just whatever. It's just whatever indeed. Sounds good. All right, let's do it. So I'm just gonna yeah. Panel container. I'm just gonna go ahead and start doing this in here. I'll mock it up in here so I can see what it looks like, and then I'll extract it into its own scene. Okay, so we want this layout to be container sizing, and it doesn't work with the center container. Okay, all right. Let's change this to a margin container. And this visuals target, we're gonna make this shrink center, shrink center. Okay, before I go any further, let's just make sure that that works. Okay. So now that this is a margin container, I can do what I wanted to do. Panel container, theme, type variation, panel container alternate node decoration. Excellent. Okay, this is going to need to shrink layout, container sizing, shrink end. We probably will want to, well, I'm not going to worry about the padding and whatnot just yet. So we add a margin container inside of there. Do we want to add a panel container or a panel header? Challenge progress. Okay, this margin container, margin top, bottom, right. I think that's correct. Let me measure this. I want it to be 8, so I need to subtract 5. Right? 8, 8. Okay. Okay, then we add a VBox container. Actually, yeah, add child node, VBox container. Label. Do, yeah, so this would be like acquire, I don't know, 100 artifacts or whatever. Oh, this dialogue is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. This header being bigger than the content is probably weird. Well, I would probably just put like a progress bar underneath it. This is just a sketch, but yeah, it probably doesn't need to be this wide. Now I'm wondering if I should even use the header. Probably shouldn't. What happens if I do shrink center? See what that looks like in game. Let me look at what the challenge list looks like in here. Yeah. So I think this can work. These challenges don't have... They don't have names, which is fine. Oh, fudge. I guess I just have to draw a progress bar. So I'm thinking these challenges are displaying redundant information. And even the ones that don't have like a 0 out of X value, like this one, win a run with at least 10 artifacts, that one can just be like an implicit progress of 0 out of 1, right? So it can still have a progress bar. So I'm thinking, you know, like this is presented as acquire 100 undead items and then 0 out of 100 undead items acquired. That could just collapse down into a progress bar that just says 0 out of 100 or 50 out of 100 or whatever. And then yeah, I think that will work. So the main question is, what do I want the progress bar to actually look like? So let's just do this. I'm going to do some drawing, I suppose. Okay. Challenge progress. That looks actually really good right there. That fills out the space pretty nicely. So acquire 100 artifacts. So let's take a screenshot. Let's move my mouse out of the way. Take a screenshot. Let's open it. And let's just start sketching something up here. Outcome word is docs. This one. Okay, so this is, why is there 4 different black colors? Oh, that's not good. Oh, right, it's choosing a bunch of colors in here probably. Yeah, that's probably what's happening. I was gonna say, oh no, is my color restriction not working? I do, yeah, it's because of this thing in here is got some issues, but that's okay. We'll just do load default palette. I'm gonna change this to reference. I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Okay, we'll lock that. So let's just create like a nice looking, I want to make a nice looking progress bar. It has to have room for some numbers, and it also needs, has to have room for numbers, and it also obviously needs the section for the actual progress, which I actually may do the progress bar part as a shader. I think I'll do the progress bar part as a shader actually, so that actually changes things quite a bit. Does it change things? Because if the progress bar is a variable width, yeah, I think it would be cool to do the progress bars like swirling liquid or something, like similar to my other liquid shaders. So with that in mind, maybe I'll make it look like glass. Yeah, maybe I'll try to make it look like glass. I do need room for the text though. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is having like a little decorative panel here. Well, that's probably not enough, but let's do something like this. Little decorative panel. The other thing that I want to do with this game is, in terms of the theme, I want to start introducing more, I think, mechanical elements. This needs to be, I think, at least 11 for it to look good. This can be a like I can make this a variable width as well. That's not a problem. But I want to start introducing maybe more mechanical elements. What I mean by that is like not necessarily steampunk, but maybe I should test this out. Hero. What the heck? Actually, maybe this... Maybe that would move over there. Yeah, I mean, obviously I need to do some more work on that, but just getting it laid out to start. I do want to do like a little glass vial in here, so if I can try to make that work, that would be ideal. Glass vial with a liquid shader in it. Without making it too big, though. Because I also want to display this in the unlocks menu. Does that seem reasonable? Or should it be bigger? I guess that's reasonable. The question is really... I don't know. Do I want to make it bigger by default? Oh, am I doing this on the wrong layer? Classic. So this would be left aligned. I don't know if this is going to go so well. See. Gotta make it look like glass. Probably we'll want to do maybe, I don't know, maybe orange? Or maybe that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Wonder if I do... Let me try something else. Let's just get rid of all this stuff. I want to make it look like something is holding it, maybe. So if I do something like this... Get rid of this. Okay, that doesn't look terrible. Just doodling. Let's change that to orange so I can see it better. So if we do something like that, I'll get rid of the text for now. Yeah, maybe if we do something like that, and then the text, we put it here. The text there, we give it some kind of, I don't know, some kind of background. I should probably center the text. Let's see. Well, that's centered enough, I suppose. Is that in the center? Oh, it is. Okay, good. So we do something like some kind of plaque or something. And then right underneath the plaque, we do like some thick bands holding onto it. And then we can do potentially some kind of no, I don't want to do that. The problem is this thing is going to be variable. So whatever decorations I do off of this thing will actually just have to be baked into that sprite, I think. We could do something like that. Well, that looks a little rough, but it's kind of what I'm going for, I guess. Let's see. Okay, and then we do like a, let's see, do like a little extra flare there. Something like that. And of course, this part would need to be decorated as well. But the question is that going to be too much? And the answer is probably yes. So the idea would be like this interior part would be scalable, and then these wing parts would be just like static, but I don't know about this one. Key to Philip, unlock something, Bone Punk. 1,000 out of 1,000, or 10,000 out of 10,000 needs some space eventually. Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking this is going to need to be tileable to some extent. But this is probably too big. I mean, I think this could look nice if I spent some time on it, but it's definitely going to be too big. Unless I just made these things all part of the same display. So I do this. What happens if I flip this vertically? Oh. Flip it vertically. Flip the text back. And then this description text, which is part of my reference layer. Let's see. Oops. Description text. So you could imagine maybe another panel here coming off of it, which would also be tileable, which could contain the description of the challenge. I don't know. That might be too much. So basically this vial would need to be tileable. This part, this inner part would need to be stretchable with these parts fixed. And then, yeah, I mean, that should in theory be possible, because what I would do is I would just extend these out, right? Like this until I get to the end of the bar. So see how that looks pretty nice actually? So you extend it out, you could tile the vial, take this and just put that at the end. Why doesn't that work? Oh, because I'm drawing on the text layer, that's why. It could work. Hello, Life Lover. What would you say is the estimated time to complete Alchemortis? 3 months. Took my dog out, I'm back. Welcome back. Is the progress label actually needed? It's distracting from the progress bar and makes the layout feel off. Well, if it says you need to acquire 100 artifacts and there's no text indicating that. Now, what I could do is I could make this a hoverable element, so you can hover over it to see how much you've got done. So I could just use a tooltip to show you the value. I could maybe do that. If you're going to do the 0 target, it might be worth removing the target amount from the text so it just says acquire artifacts. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. If you have 10 or more artifacts. Like a patch rec to stretch out the middle, yeah. How to make an icon for the game when playing and exporting. The docs cover that. So I would just read the Godot docs on changing the icon for your game. Do we feel like this could work though? Like, is this too much, or is this gonna work? I could, like I said, I could make this a hoverable element instead. So lots of decisions to make here. I think it could work with a little more monkeying around, yeah. I feel like you should lean into the gentle grasp on either end with nothing in the middle but bar. So nothing here. I should name these layers, I suppose. Yeah, that probably looks better. Looks better than before for sure. Would the dividers be by dynamic depending on the maximum value? Yeah, that's the goal. The other option is I could just make it a fixed size and just use that size everywhere, which I may actually give that a shot. So let me just... Is there a reason why I can't select the bar text? What the heck? What the heck? Okay. Decoration. Vial. Let me just see something really quick. So let's put this in. Let's put that in. Export. Oh, I need to save this first. This would be assets, UI. I'll just put it in unlock, challenge, progress.asprite. Okay, and we save this as challenge progress selection. Let me just try something here. We'll get rid of this challenge list label. VBox container, texture rect. I just want to see keep aspect. Okay, keep aspect. Let's just duplicate this a bunch of times. We will change this theme overrides to be like 8 or maybe 16 instead. Let me see what it looks like in that actual UI. So yeah, I probably do want to make it tileable. I think it would be... The problem is I don't know how to make the vial tileable though. I guess I could just use a 9-patch rect. And just tile like a middle section out or something. The vial doesn't look that great either. I need to spend some more time on that, but this is just rough concept art, I guess. So, all right. The big problem to solve is like, how would I actually make this thing tileable? Let's focus on that part first. Okay, I don't know what that is. It's an emote. Is that actually an emote? I don't know. I'm sorry, Oriachi, that link looks suspicious. So, sorry if that was a mistake, but... Shading, yes indeed. I remember you having a bunch of custom control nodes and stuff. Any chance you made a video or some repo to show them off? I don't think so. I mean, I think I only really made the pass-through control, which is not relevant anymore because of the offset transform. So, yeah, I don't think I made a video or a repo for them. I don't remember. Did I make any other custom control nodes? I don't know if you can remind me like what you're thinking of specifically, if you have something in mind. I don't think I really made a bunch of control nodes. Needs the text to know for sure, yeah. Just an emote? Well, it was a link to some kind of CDN, which is not good. Okay. So we want to split this out. You had basically stand-in for buttons, clickable control. Oh yeah, the clickable control, yeah. So the clickable control, that was made for just this game. It's not really generalized. I guess it could be generalized, but it's not, so. I just selected an emote and dragged it and somewhat sent it a link. I was confused as well. Gotcha, well, sorry about that. It's just a timeout though, so you'll be back on Twitch after that ends. Does that look better? Actually, yeah, maybe I do that, and then this. Okay, that may work. So what I can do now, yeah. So what I can do is I can tile this inner portion. Is there a reason why this isn't... Oh, do I have this wrong? Okay, hold on a second. Let me put this back. Wait, is this... Oh, it is working. Why is this... Uh-oh. Oh, it is off. Right. That's what I thought. Okay. Well, I hope I didn't do anything. This still needs to be... Oh, did I make that too small now? Actually, no, that fits in there pretty nicely. It should be fine. It should be fine. Yeah, that actually works pretty nice. Okay. Yeah, so what I should be able to do is... Yep, that looks good. Okay, that'll work. It's okay. Tips file management for Godot. Yeah, I mean, the main tip is like, yeah, just use whatever organizational system you feel most comfortable with. Like, the most important thing about organizing your files is that you are productive and that you can find what you're looking for and you know where to save things. That's the most important thing. But yeah, like what I like to do is I like to separate my scenes and my scripts from each other. I like to have my own, like a separate scripts directory, and then separate scripts directory, separate assets directory. Some people recommend like putting all your assets and your scenes and your scripts, like group them by related concept. So like if you've got a player character, some people say, well, put the player character scene and script and assets all in the same directory. I don't like to do that because what ends up happening inevitably is that I end up with a script that is not attached to a scene, or I end up with a scene that is not attached to any assets, or I want to use an asset like a sound effect in another place, and so now I have to like dedupe the asset somehow, meaning like, let's say that there's a player sound effect, but I want to use that sound effect somewhere else. Then I have to create a shared folder anyway for common assets. And so I just like to separate out the scripts, and then I mirror the directory. So when a script is attached to a scene, the scene path and the script path are mirrored. They just exist at different like root directories, if that makes sense. So I would have like a script /character/character.cs, and then I would have a scenes /character/character.tscn. So I mirror the directory structures to indicate the relationships between things. And then when I have a scene that's standalone, it will exist in its own scene directory without being mirrored in the scripts directory because it doesn't have a script. The assets are the same way. I mirror the asset directories with whatever scenes they belong to, unless the asset doesn't belong to a particular scene, in which case it just goes into its own folder. So I find that to generally be a lot more sensible to work with. But again, it doesn't... Oh, is my... What the heck? Again, the most important part is that you're organizing it in a way that makes sense to you, because you're the one that has to work on the project, and if whatever the organization system that you're using doesn't make sense for whatever reason, then structure it so that it makes sense. I have colors that look so good. Yeah, the colors, that's just a Godot setting. You could just right click in here and change the color. But that's about it. You see I've got my assets, resources, scenes, scripts, and these things, you know. So you'll see like scenes, auto load, announcements, scripts, auto load, announcements, right? But then I've got like in this data folder, these are all scripts that don't belong to a scene. So actually the vast majority of scripts in my game don't belong to any scene. I think the vast majority of scripts in the game actually don't even extend any Godot object or anything. All right, so this is looking okay. I don't really know if I should be spending this much time on it without like testing the scaling first. All right, let's just try to get this all scaled properly. So we're gonna outline this. And actually, now that I think about it, that vial looks a little bit weird sticking out like that, but whatever, it's fine. So the goal is we basically tile this interior part here. So this section right there, that's the section that's going to be tiled. These parts will not be tiled. And same with this. These parts will not be tiled, and then this part will be tiled. So that should be good enough, actually. So actually this decoration, this needs to be like the vial holder. So we'll do vial holder. And we've got the decoration. And then we also have the vial itself, which I'm going to have to figure out what I want that to look like because it doesn't look that great. But let's outline the vial. And then let's also fill in this part. And this part, we might as well fill those in as well. All right, so now we're going to export all those things. We'll get the tiling set up, and then we'll see what's going on from there. And why use VS Code? I just like VS Code, that's it. It's all personal preference all the way down. I don't think you need write any number. I don't know what that means. No, I don't need to bake any number into the sprite itself. Scenes unlock, we will just do challenge item, I guess. Invalid extension. Okay. Let's just change this to a custom minimum size of 256 so we can see what it's doing. All right, let's start with the vial. Here. Edit region. Turn on pixel snap. We just bring this over. Bring this over. It doesn't really matter that much. Let's just change these both to 32 by 32. Tile, vertical, we're not going to tile anything. Custom minimum size should be 9. Okay, so we've got a vial. It looks pretty ugly being tiled like that, but that's okay. Okay, vial rect. Now we need to do the vial holder. Okay. Actually, this almost already works. That's kind of funny. I do need to edit the region though, because we just want to do basically that. Okay. Oh, did it not export? Why doesn't it have a... I don't know why it doesn't have a black part. Let's resave that. Okay, vial holder rect. This needs to be 13. Edit region, bring that down. Okay. Duplicate this. Okay, we want to edit this region. Basically bring that over, bring that over. Oh, it's not tiling quite right. Oh, I want to bring it there. Right. Okay. The height is 13, that's correct. So there's all of our pieces. Why is that happening there? Oh, did I... Is that 13? That doesn't look right. It is, okay. So there's our pieces. And actually this one needs to be, so let me think about this. We basically want to do some kind of margin container here with this decoration rect. This margin container needs to be trans container sizing. Actually, maybe I don't need to do this. Shrink center? No, shrink center. I guess we'll try it both ways. UI layout. I need to do another margin container. Put the label inside. Put the decoration rect behind. Take this margin container, tell it that I need to shrink its center. And then... Actually, maybe that's not right. So the trick is, I need this to grow as the label grows. So... do I just add margin left here? Margin right there. Oh yeah, okay. So we basically just bump this up. There is a slight problem here, but that's okay. I think what I could do is just make the margin bottom. Oh no. Okay. Probably don't need that much padding on the right and the left. Okay. So now as the text grows, that will just grow with it, see? So that's good. This VBox container, we're gonna set this theme override separation to 0. And actually that might be too much. I might need to do -1. Oh, but then the text is wrong. Shoot, did I not put enough room for the text? Uh-oh. Well, this is just a test. We'll figure out how to do this. Show behind parent. Oops. Honestly, probably need another margin container. I don't want to use another margin container. Well, this is not exactly properly aligned, but I guess I'll just use another margin container. too many margin containers. I'm gonna have to see if I can fix that. But anyway, there we go. We have a variable width thing that we can just extend to our heart's content, and it has a minimum size and everything. If the text changes, that grows. So yeah, I think hopefully that works. So now if I go to my challenge list, and instead of doing all these things, I instantiate the challenge item. That just stretches across the screen now. So we just duplicate a bunch of challenge items. What is that going to look like in the unlock menu here? Like a miracle. So that might be a little bit too long, but there's no reason that this panel needs to be that long. Do I have this? How am I actually determining the size of this thing? Oh, it just has a margin. Okay, so margin right, let's just turn this up. Okay, so if I turn the margin up, we end up with something like this, which looks a lot more reasonable to me. And of course, we're probably going to want this VBox container as a separation of 1. So let's add another VBox container. Goodness gracious. Another VBox container. We add a label here. We say apply 500 poison or whatever. So that's what it kind of looks like with text. One thing I can do that might be good actually is I go to the challenge item here, the vial holder, and I can just extend that out a little bit. Oh, that's not going to work. I actually don't know if Godot really supports this. I guess not, because it's extending that pixel there. So I could bake in some empty space into the texture so that it's not like at the exact end of the thing, of the vial, but so this is roughly what it could look like. Does it look good? He's cooking. You probably could do some kind of shader to handle the glass glint in a more variable way, or use noise with some kind of complicated logic only to render the glint where the noise says. I think the text should not include numbers. Oh, right. Well, some text is going to have to. Because like one of the challenges is win a run with like 7 ritual items on your board or something. But the number there is, yeah, I guess that would work. Maybe that would work. I think I'm thinking about it wrong. That would probably work. But yeah, the glint, I mean, one thing that I've been interested in with this game, which I haven't had time to explore, is like making your mouse essentially like a light source, and then having like the cards and maybe this glass change how it's shaded based on like where your mouse is relative to it. I think that could look really cool. I just think that, you know, I just haven't had time to like explore that, and I may not have time to explore that. But yeah, so are we confident that if I just clean this up a lot, make the glass look nicer, and do like a fill shader in the middle, Are we confident that this is going to look pretty good? The text can have numbers, just don't specify whatever the goal value is since it's covered by the progress bar's text. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point for sure. Yeah, it's solid. Okay. I think they look pretty good. Now we just need to see what a smaller victory defeat screen version could look like. Yeah, let's throw that in there real quick. So run overview, this challenge progress thing here. We get rid of the progress bar and we put the challenge item there. We don't need this label anymore. So let's look at the run overview. This is a situation where, so that's what the smaller version looks like. This is a situation there, though, where I could have, let's just change the label here. If it's 20,000 poison, right? And I've got 19,000. So it's going to look like that, but that should be fine. There should be enough room here for that, right? So we look at this. Yeah, that's fine. I do think that I need to make a little bit more room for the text, though. I need like one additional pixel of space for the text, which I guess I could probably do just by doing this. Oh, there we go. One more pixel of space. I think the challenge progress one looks way better than the big list. Well, the big list, I think, should look better. Wait, why is that not working? Hold on a second. I guess this just needs to have more padding. There we go. The challenge list item, or the challenge list, will probably look better when I have like the actual text in place, but maybe not. Honestly, that I don't know about that either. The problem is the text shadow. But maybe if I moved it down, let's see. Honestly, I could go either way on that. It actually looks better than it does in the actual challenge screen, yeah. All looks kind of uniform. I mean, that is a problem. The other problem might be it's too big in the challenge list, which means I could shrink it more. Right, I could squeeze that over more. I mean, yeah, I could try that. So let's see. Unlock menu. Challenge list. This margin container. We can push that over more. So we compact it even more. And then this VBox container here, we can turn the separation up maybe a little bit. This text is not aligned either. That's going to be a problem. So actually, this might look better. I might even push this over more. So this here, where is it? This margin container. If I push this over even more, let's do like 224. So that becomes like that now. Actually, that looks much better. So that becomes like that. But then you have to imagine that this text here on the challenge item, this text could be multi-line as well. I'm just going to put a space here so it's better aligned to what I'm thinking it will be. And then eat a bunch of Taco Bell. Okay, so then we do auto wrap mode word. Oh, of course, it's not going to be, well, we'll just get rid of that. So this could be multi-line, right? And the other thing I could do is I could put little dividers here too to fill in the empty space a little bit more. But all these things are going to be, like, all these words are going to be variable, and there's also going to be description, like keyword highlighting, right? So there's going to be more color. They're going to be variable length text. All these progress bars are going to have different values and different text as well. I also want to categorize this. Like, I want to have like in progress challenges here, and then at the bottom, like completed challenges. Extra padding plus separation helps. Upper is better. Yeah. Looks much better, all nice and compressed. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it just needs to have like the shading done. I need to do a little bit better on the art itself, but yeah, I mean, it should be okay. It should be fine. The vial is the thing that I need to spend a lot of time on to get the shader looking good and the actual glass looking good. And honestly, I may just make the whole glass white or something. I don't know. I have to figure that out. Anyway, I'll put this on a different branch. Get rid of these screenshots. Okay, well, I'm going to continue working on that this evening, but it is time for me to take a dinner break and chill for a bit. What did we do? Like almost 6 hours of streaming today, plus, did I do a little bit of work off stream? I don't remember, but anyway. So yeah, I'm going to take an hour or two break, get some dinner, then I'll be working just by my lonesome tonight on that. Hopefully by tomorrow I've made good progress on that and I can show you in the morning what I got. But yeah, thanks all for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the support. If you want, you can wishlist Alka Mortis on Steam. I would appreciate that. It's the best way to support me. And yeah, thank you all. Appreciate it. Can't wait to get my hands on this again. I hope you like it. I've made a lot of changes. I think the critical bonus change is good, and I've also nerfed a bunch of items. I'm going to nerf a bunch more. I've streamlined a bunch of things. So yeah, hopefully there's a lot of content stuff that I want to do still too. Like I want to rework the Lich artifacts and everything. But anyway, we'll get all that done relatively soon. But anyway, thank you all for watching again, and have a great night, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.